Olivia Bolivia and the Dynamighties, the quest for the Red Dragon, Wizzpop 4. From the top of this high but humble mountain, every which way they looked was beauty. To the west they looked down on Nantamoc Reservoir, shining silver in the afternoon sun. To the south and east lay vast swathes of grass-covered mountains. Northwards they looked over moorland to the Dovey River Valley. "It's lovely up here," Olivia Bolivia said. "So still and quiet. No nice little cafe, though," Bomhollio checked. "Down there somewhere," Wings said, pointing to the north, "is Dovey Junction, where we started this adventure this morning." For a moment the titanic trio stood and simply marvelled at the view. Bomhollio shielded his eyes from the sun with his hand and searched for any sign of a food shop on the landscape. Maybe a bakery. Suddenly the air was split by a thunderous roar, shattering the peace of the mountainside, and a dark shadow fell across the Dynamighties, a huge dragon shadow. "Now, Bomhollio," Olivia Bolivia commanded. And right on cue, Bomhollio popped the biggest whiz-popper of his sweet life. And that is really saying something. It was a humdinger, fueled by iced lollies, bubblegum, chips, bananas, veggie burgers, licorice, peanuts, biscuits, ginger cake, apple cake, Welsh cake, chocolate sponge, ginger biscuits, fudge, banana bread, flapjacks, a peanut bar, and worst of all, some healthy salads. His whiz-popper would have been enough to knock over even the biggest dragon. But just as Bomhollio let rip, a tongue of flame licked from behind the cairn and ignited the methane gas in his whale-sized whiz-popper. The explosion blew him high up in the air and tumbling head over heels back down the mountain. "Pooh!" shrieked Bomhollio as he flipped backwards through the air. "Save him," Olivia Bolivia shouted to Wings, and straightway Wings flew up in the air and streaked off after their teammate. Left all alone, the leader of the Dynamighties looked for the dragon that breathed whiz-popper light in fire and cast the biggest shadow in the wonderful wide world of Wild West Wales. The wonderful wide world of Wild West Wales. Try saying that quickly 10 times. Olivia Bolivia couldn't see any huge creature, only a tiny little red dragon. Peeping out from behind the cairn, it cast the longest, darkest shadow in the early evening sun that now sat low in the sky. Of course! There was no fooling Olivia Bolivia. She knew everything. Dropping her crook, Olivia Bolivia rushed forward and grabbed the dragon tight with both hands. "I should have known you would be tiny," she said, "because you are friends with the little red devil." For a moment nothing happened. Then a voice as deep as the deepest ocean, and deeper than the deepest coal mine, rumbled from behind the cairn. That's my glove puppet you're holding." Olivia Bolivia looked at the fluffy little red dragon that she held in her hands, and it was indeed a glove puppet, and inside, making it worse, was just one of the red dragon's real claws. Olivia Bolivia hiccuped. "I don't want to frighten you," the deepest deep voice said. And there was a clashing like thunder then as the Drygoch, who had been lying down, hiding behind the cairn, stood up and rose to her full height. As tall as two houses, she towered above Olivia Bolivia, who held on tight to the dragon glove puppet. The red kite took off from where it was perched on the enormous dragon's shoulder, rose up in the sky, and drifted silently away on the breeze. "Ah," Olivia Bolivia said, bending her head right back to look up at her Drygoch. "Ah," she said again. "Have you come to fight me?" Drygoch asked. "Only people are always doing that, especially knights and nitwits and nincompoops." "Do you eat people?" Olivia Bolivia demanded. "Certainly not," Drygoch said. "What a horrid thought! I have toasted a few of those knights' bottoms, though, I must admit." "I have superpowers," Olivia Bolivia warned Drygoch. "I've already seen that," Drygoch said. "You're super brave, and you're kind to people and polite. Those are very special powers, and I think you have the greatest power of all." "Yes," Olivia Bolivia said, "exactly. What is it, please?" "Imagination," said Drygoch. "Imagination," Olivia Bolivia repeated, "precisely." Also, Drygoch continued, I've seen that you have the two best friends that anyone could wish for, the nice woman with wings and the slightly whiffy person. Wings and Bomhollio, Olivia Bolivia told Drygoch, sharing her friends' names. You're the luckiest fish, Drygoch said. A good person with good friends and the power of a vivid imagination. Also, I know everything, Olivia Bolivia said. Really? Drygoch said, clearly impressed. I'm not a fish, though, Olivia Bolivia said, but I bet you could imagine being one. Olivia Bolivia did imagine it, making a round fish mouth and wiggling her bum as if it was a tail, and she was swimming around a beautiful coral reef in the salty water of a warm ocean teeming with life. Of course, she said. Yes, exactly. You see, said Drygoch, and beamed a big smile down at Olivia Bolivia. It's your lucky day, Olivia Bolivia told the dragon. If you don't eat people, then I don't think I have to fight you. Drygoch laughed so hard that she coughed, smoke billowed from her nostrils, and a ball of fire the size of 10 footballs came out of her mouth, blazing bright orange across the evening sky. But, Olivia Bolivia said, furrowing her brow, then I need a new mission for the Dynamighties. Well, I have a mission for you, Drygoch says, and she raised the glove puppet that Olivia Bolivia held onto high until it was right in front of her dragon face. Olivia Bolivia stared into the sparkling emerald green eye that was as big as a lake and as deep as the sea. She hiccuped again and swallowed hard. Not at all scared, obviously. Your mission, if you choose to accept it, Drygoch said in the nearest thing to a whisper that such an enormous dragon could manage, is to defend the world's animals and plants from harm wherever they live, in the seas and forests, the deserts and rivers. Olivia Bolivia gulped. It sounds quite a big job, she said. Not too big for a superhero like you, though, Drygoch asked. Not for someone with your imagination, your courage, and your friends. No, of course not, Olivia Bolivia said. No. You'll need all your determination, Drygoch said. A few very bad people are always trying to poison the seas, chop down the forests, hunt the animals. They will do anything, harm anything, just to make more money, though they're already too rich to be really happy. They must be stopped, Olivia Bolivia decided. Good, brave girl, Drygoch said, and put Olivia Bolivia down on the mountain top. Can I keep the glove puppet? Olivia Bolivia asked. Of course, Drygoch said, smiling as wide as only an enormous red dragon can smile, which is pretty wide. And I will leave you my claw inside. Well, thanks for that, Olivia Bolivia said uncertainly. She wasn't sure the dragon was being polite. Wasn't it like giving someone your toenail clippings? A dragon's claw has magic powers, Drygoch said. Oh, and what are they? Olivia Bolivia asked excitedly. You will know when the time comes, Drygoch said, on your next adventure. Now I see from up here that your friends are hurrying back, and I must go for my nightly bath in Nantamoch Reservoir. Nostar and Pobluk, good night and the best of luck, Olivia Bolivia, leader of the Dynamighties. And Drygoch spread her gigantic dragon wings and flew off the summit of Pimlivan Bower. She dived steeply down the mountainside, plunging into the reservoir far below, and disappeared. Where is she? Bomhollio panted, out of breath from running up the hill. I'll save you. I'll. She's gone, Olivia Bolivia said a little sadly, sliding the dragon glove puppet and the hidden claw carefully into her backpack out of sight. Scared of me, eh? Bomhollio said, clenching his fists and standing like a boxer. Uh, well, actually only a bit like a proper boxer. He looked more like a big teddy bear. She didn't hurt you, did she? Wings asked, landing next to Olivia Bolivia and giving her a huge hug. She gave us a new mission, Olivia Bolivia said, to save all the animals and plants and their homes from bad people who want to hurt them. Gosh, said Wings, that's a mission and a half. I'll do the half, Bomhollio promised. We can do it, Olivia Bolivia said. I accepted the mission. Bomhollio thought for a moment. As long as we stick together, he said. Stick, corrected Olivia Bolivia. Speak for yourself, Bomhollio said. I'm sticking with thick. This would be a lovely place for a picnic, Wings said, if only... Did you get some food from the cafe by any chance, Olivia Bolivia asked Bomhollio. Well, it just so happens, Bomhollio said, opening his bag. I knew it, Olivia Bolivia said. I have buns, apples, bananas, and pears, Olivia Bolivia told his friend. Marvellous, said Olivia Bolivia, leader of the Dynamighties, because she liked to have the last word. This isn't the end, not by a long chalk.